Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are digging into the 2022 hit Stray. Now, on the surface, yeah, it's that cute cyberpunk cat game, right? But underneath all that neon and fur, the team at Blue 12 Studio actually built something profoundly rooted in classic gaming history. We're going to uncover its hidden mechanical inheritance from the golden age of adventure games and show you exactly why this experience feels so incredibly special.
All right, here is how we're going to break this down. First, the hidden adventure lineage. 2, animal body-human interface. 3, testing artificial personhood. 4, the machine's deepest wound. 5, passages and industrial appetites. And finally, inheriting the open air. Let's get into it.
Okay, starting right off with Section 1, the hidden adventure lineage.
So Stray doesn't just borrow a cyberpunk aesthetic, right? Its endgame literally stitches together narrative architecture from 6 legendary titles. Look at this. From Grim Fandango, it inherits the train carrying a soul toward release. From Planetfall, we get the robot companion whose sacrifice deeply wounds the player. From Blade Runner, the rare animal navigating an artificial city to test personhood. And then you add in the trapped human consciousness from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, the horrific factory stomach from Oddworld, and finally, the dead, speaking machinery from The Dig.
Now, these aren't just polite, Easter egg nods to the past. They're mechanical homages. Every single physical act in the endgame, the cat riding a subway, B-12 overheating, the dead civilization's roof finally opening, these are inherited concepts translated directly into physical, playable acts. It's absolutely brilliant.
Moving on to Section 2, Animal Body, Human Interface. So the developers built Walled City 99 to mimic the dense, tangled architecture of Kulon Walled City, which is a strictly human-scaled environment. But Stray subverts this completely. Instead of a classic point-and-click cursor searching the screen for hotspots, the cursor is literally hidden inside a living, breathing cat. You don't just click a mouse. You jump, you scratch at doors, you knock over paint cans. The cat acts exactly where a cursor used to point. And what this does is take the traditional adventure game hero and literally split them in two. The cat brings movement, touch, curiosity, and survival instincts. But obviously, a cat can't translate robot speech or hack a computer terminal. Enter the drone, B-12. B-12 carries all the language, memory, storage, and access. That little backpack on the cat, it's the visible seam between the two halves. The entire adventure game interface is literally strapped to the animal's back.
All right, Section 3, testing artificial personhood.
Borrowing directly from the 1997 Blade Runner adventure game, Stray uses a rare living animal to test the personhood of its robot companions. The cat isn't some detective filing reports, right? Yet its mere presence acts as a test. It reveals who responds with care or curiosity, fear, or even generosity. The living animal makes the robot's personhood practical, rather than just a theoretical concept.
Think about it. The companions prove their humanity through their residue. They wear clothes, they play guitars, maintain shops, and police the streets. When you as the cat nuzzle a robot or collect sheet music for the musician Morrisk, these minor recognitions bridge a massive gap. The cat's pure animal existence basically validates the robots as they continue the everyday gestures of a vanished human culture.
Which brings us to Section 4, the machine's deepest wound.
Now, B-12 begins as a simple UI helper, but he slowly becomes the story's deepest wound. As his memories return, this horrific truth drops. He was actually a human scientist whose consciousness became stranded in the computer system. Mirroring the heavy psychological trauma of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, B-12 shifts from being just a handy little translator to the final, agonizing human remnant in Walled City 99.
And directly inheriting the emotional blueprint of the robot Floyd from the 1983 classic Planetfall, B-12's ultimate sacrifice hurts because utility actually becomes attachment. To open the city, B-12 literally has to spend the adventure interface itself. The backpack drops. You instantly lose your translator, your inventory, your mission log, everything. The game forces you to mourn through touch and delay. The cat curls up beside the broken machine, and that grief is playable simply because you, the player, control the pause before finally deciding to leave.
Next up, Section 5, passages and industrial appetites.
The Zerks are what gives Stray its most material horror. Mirroring the industrial digestion horrors we saw in Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, the NACO Corporation originally created these bacteria to dissolve trash. But without humans around to manage it, that waste management solution mutated. Trash-eating bacteria became city-eating life. The dump literally became the predator. So the slum isn't just dirty, it's full of historical consequences where industrial digestion entirely escaped its assigned task.
Then, Stray perfectly utilizes the missing train logic of Grim Fandango. The subway ride acts as this precise hinge. It transports you away from the dirty, emotional, lived-in slums and Midtown, directly into the sterile, completely dead control room. The blocked circulation of the whole city finally opens up just as your escape becomes possible.
And much like the alien ruins in The Dig, the control room acts as this perfectly intact archaeological tomb. It's actually a massive reversal of expectations. Usually, ascending in a game means finding life, or getting answers. But here, the highest space contains the absolute least life. It's purely an administrative chamber, just machines blindly obeying a dead command for a humanity that has been gone for a very, very long time.
Finally, Section 6, Inheriting the Open Air. In a quiet, incredibly poignant historical transfer, the last human consciousness gives up its continuation. B12 passes legitimacy from the old human command over to the new, non-human inhabitants. It takes animal action combined with drone intelligence, literally claws and code working together to finally break the system. And when sunlight finally enters the city, B12's death becomes a literal environmental change. It kills the Zerks, deactivates the Sentinels, and gives the companions back the sky.
You see, human extinction is just a past event here. The open ending strips away all those adventure game functions we talked about, leaving only pure emotion. The player has lost B12's voice, the backpack is useless, and all the puzzles are over. The cat steps out simply as an animal, passing from a family separation to a return through history. The convergence of all those classic games, the train, the sacrifice, the animal test, the trapped remnant, it all just feels completely effortless in these quiet final minutes.
So I want to leave you with this final thought today. As you watch that nearby screen flicker with electrical signs right at the end, perhaps a tiny hint of B12 still persisting somewhere in the network, you really have to ask yourself, did humanity's extinction merely make way for a pure form of life? And if our ultimate legacy was simply opening a door for the animals and machines who survived us, what does that say about the digital and physical worlds we are building right now?